Our off-grid life has taught us a lot. It's been 5 years now, and in the highs and lows and the moments in between, we've discovered the truth about finding happiness. And that is that happiness isn't real. We're told to think of happiness as a state of being, but happiness is an emotion. It is a fleeting feeling that passes, just as anger or sadness, excitement, fear, or boredom passes too. We're all searching for what will make us truly happy, and it might sound sad, but I don't think that we can ever be truly happy, because life is a balance of all emotions. I think instead you can find purpose, and it's different for everyone, but for us, purpose comes from using our hands, from creating or growing our own food. It comes with each tree planted or each fence fixed. It grows from rest as well as work, from joy as well as hardship. Happiness passes as quick as the afternoon sun, but purpose is deeper, and it guides the currents of what you do.
The rain was golden upon our shoulders and in my eyes.
This week we've been planting bananas and gardening in the sun, and these simple days of digging, planting, and feeling the soil between our fingers brings us this sense of fulfillment that lasts longer than any emotion. I think that the purpose that we find in gardening can probably be attributed to our human needs to grow, forage, and feed ourselves.
Is that not the most satisfying thing in the world?
It's easy to forget that we are animals, and in our privileged lives, our basic needs like food or shelter or sleep have become so effortless, but also so capitalized upon. Instead of hunting or gathering or growing or sharing, we pay money and we receive food. And do not get me wrong, I love these modern privileges, but there's something so lacking about sorting through supermarket shelves full of processed foods from companies whose profits often outweigh their morals.
It's the most incredible feeling. You can plant a tiny little pup like this, and then in a year it will give you this giant bunch of fruit.
When we grow our own food, we're able to connect with the nutrition that our body needs. We're able to see the rich soil, the saplings who will one day grow tall, the fruit almost ready for harvest, yesterday's rain that feeds the soil, and today's sun that cultivates growth. We're able to see that when we nurture the plants, they return the nurture straight back to us in the form of fresh fruit. We close this reciprocal system, seeing our hands, the dirt, the plants, and the fruit all work in a seamless cycle, a system that gives and receives. Looking at the garden, everything becomes so obvious. The plants don't just need endless sun to thrive, like we don't need endless happiness to be whole. Endless sunshine would actually cause dryness and wilt and slow growth. Instead, the plants need days of sun intertwined with days of rain. They need cool seasons and hot seasons. They need a combination of all things working together. A banana plant thrives with balance, so it's strange to think that in order to thrive, we need to search for the absoluteness of happiness and not accept the entirety of life.
When people say that they feel happier when they garden, it's not a lie. There's actually a bacterium in the soil which acts like an antidepressant, and it stimulates your brain to make more serotonin.
Growing our own food has always been a way that we connect with our body. Movement is so important, and exercise can be great for your mental health. Instead of going to gyms and training with equipment, we love to use these practices to achieve things instead. I always laugh that why would I lift weights up and down and achieve nothing if instead I can catch a bunch of bananas as it falls or haul a bag of duck feed across the paddock? Why would I run on a treadmill if instead I can run after Magnolia's goat as she escapes the paddock or hike up to the highest hill to check the water tanks? We find purpose in these small tasks, in the endless labour and the physical exertion of looking after the land.
It smells like passion fruit.
We find this purpose both by physically working, sweating, and moving our muscles, but also by harvesting the literal fruits of our labour and feeding our tired bodies with their nutrients. This feeling of eating something that you grew with your own hands brings us fulfillment like nothing else. This week we've been trying to balance work and play and cultivating moments of calm into our routine. For me, this means going to a waterfall and exploring beneath the crashing stream. Invisible connections and harmonious interactions are woven through the earth. Everything in nature has a purpose. Every beautiful thing is laced with meaning. The dragonfly's intricate fairy wings have hundreds of sensory neurons, letting them flutter with grace. The old buttressed tree roots collect water for the dry season, as the vines poetically climb through the canopy to reach the light. Between trunks and vines, these dragonflies feed on the insects and their prey to fish and birds. The strength of the vines creates shelter and habitat, while in the tree roots, insects and frogs breed. An invisible web connects every action and movement, every insect, tree, cloud and stream. We have found our purpose within this web, discovering that, like the dragonflies, trees and vines, our actions resonate in the weave of the rainforest. We thread each moment with intention. Our fulfillment grows with every small action, and as they culminate, we discover the happiness that is found in purpose. It is the simple feeling of making change with our hands. With simple contentment, we watch the work we do transform the landscape. We've found that happiness isn't a state of being. It is a fleeting feeling among a sea of emotions. Joy is dictated by passing moments, but purpose is deeper. It is the current that guides the ocean's waves, the birds that spread the forest seeds, or the thread that weaves all of these moments together. As the forest is simply a collection of growth, we understand that our lives are a collection of small moments. Water always teaches us of the complexity of ourselves. It feeds the soils and allows the plants to grow. It gives life, and without it, we wouldn't exist. Water is the core of everything, but also, it causes destruction like nothing else. Exactly 3 years ago, these valleys were destroyed in the biggest flood in recorded history, and that day, water became a feared enemy. It carved its own path violently. Anything in its way was torn, shattered, and buried. The waters have taught us that nature, working together, is harmonious, but with imbalance, everything can go wrong. Pure happiness or success or the completion of any goal or dream will not make us feel whole, but with balance in our lives, we can find fulfillment. Feel fully in the moments of joy and wonder, but always remember that the full spectrum of life's emotions is what makes it so wonderful. There is no true happiness without the more difficult emotions that exist beside it.
We talk about this a lot in our book through the principles of connection, creativity and care.
We talk about how to live a happy life, not in terms of the unattainable happiness that we're told about, but the real, true happiness that you find from purpose, the fulfillment from making things with your hands or caring for those around you. Back at the farm, we have 1,000 jobs to do, and today we're chasing after runaway goats and mending fences to keep them from escaping.
The goats have become so naughty that they've literally found a way to escape every single paddock that we have for them. So today we're on a mission to fix all of the little holes that they're getting through, and this one's a complex one because there's no hole. They just worked out how to jump a 1.2 meter fence by standing on a hill and running really fast and then jumping over it. So we're going to make a little kind of boundary fence to stop them from doing that.
These menial jobs are always the ones that I dread the most. When I realise that the goats have escaped yet another fence, I find myself groaning and beginning to sort through the fencing supplies.
It's really tropical weather at the moment. We're getting big heavy showers every few minutes, and then it just stops and the sun comes out for a few minutes and you think that it's all stopped. The sky turns blue and then 5 minutes later there's a huge rainstorm again. But it's fencing time, so no matter the weather, we've got a fence.
But I normally find myself actually having fun as I mend the fence and think of solutions around the goats' naughty ways.
So despite there being an amazing paddock full of grass and different things for the goats to eat, they keep jumping this fence here and jumping all the way over there. So we're just going to build this little kind of fence in between that will stop their run up.
Of course, there are frustrating moments, and I'd probably prefer to spend my afternoon reading or drawing, but in the boring jobs comes this kind of satisfaction. It's like solving a puzzle or something, and I can't wait until tomorrow when the goats realise that they can't do their little trick anymore.
I'm just weaving this through the star pickets, and then that's going to create some good pressure, and then I'll just wire it into place, and I think that'll stop the goats.
I think it's also energising just being out in the weather, feeling the passing tropical storms fall onto your skin, and knowing that this rain will feed the bananas that we just planted.
It's not the best built fence, but that doesn't really matter because it's more just to stop them from running and jumping. It's hard to believe that all of the 7 goats, 6, 7, how many are there? All of them can jump over this fence. But I saw it with my very own eyes one day, even the smallest one, who's only like this tall, I saw her just fly over there. I couldn't believe it. This is a big pile of dirt that we've dug out from this massive hole, and in here are very important pipes. Basically, we collect our water and we have a big tank up on the hill, and so that comes down the hill, then goes underground, and then comes through here. But the problem is no one really knows how the system works. Our dad put it in, and it's complex. There's pipes that go everywhere, and so this pipe was leaking, and then we dug it up, and there's one pipe going this way and one pipe going that way, and the big tanks that they're coming from are up there. So we don't know, but we've worked it out now, and now I'm just going to put all of this dirt back in, but I need to make sure that I put the soft dirt in around the pipe so that it doesn't cause any leaks with big bits of soil if a stone hits it, because this is a road, so if anyone drives over it, then it'll break the pipe again, and we do not want that. We do not want another leak.
There's always a new job to be done. At the moment, there's actually a severe tropical cyclone developing off the coast right now, and it's possibly predicted to hit us next week. It's always strange to prepare for something that's so uncontrollable. So we're just doing everything we can to clear the roads of fallen leaves, fix the water pipes and the overflow, and finish as many jobs on our list before there will be potentially a lot more.
Should have worn gumboots. I am covered in mud, and it's clayey mud, so I don't know if it's going to come off.
Give me a moment to catch my thoughts.
When the goats don't answer back when you call, you know that they're doing something naughty. So they haven't been answering, and it turned out that they'd escaped into a paddock that they're not allowed to be in because they can get into the garden from here. Come on! No answer. Magnolia!
The goats always manage to find a new hole in the fence any time that we fix one. In these moments, I normally feel pretty angry and frustrated.
Are you gonna come home now?
Keep me on the path.
I start thinking of what supplies I'll need to fix the fence and how long this patch will even last. Anger is okay though, I just let that feeling pass too.
Come on. Naughty Jody.
I've been
Come on, we're going to the rest of the paddock. I know, there's lots of yummy food here.
of time.
They're honestly doing a really good job in this paddock. There's a lot of weeds that they need to eat down. But the problem is we haven't got the fence completely working, so they jump over it and then they get into the garden from here. So you're doing the right job, just a little bit naughtily. If we fix the fence tomorrow, you can come in here. Maggie's the one that always gives it away. She always, I'll say something like, come on to them, and then she will give a bear back when everyone else is being completely silent. She'll just say a little meh. I think I'll just sit here and shepherd them for a while and make sure they don't get into the garden, and then they can eat as much as they want.
Sometimes the fences just make us feel like we will be forever behind. This fence now has a conveniently goat-shaped hole in it, and the fence on the other side that enters the garden has grown over with grass and vines so they can jump over it too. In their other paddock, they found a hole that leads to the neighbour's cow paddock, and just last week I mended a different hole again that they made so that they could sneak into the orange orchard.
Here's the hole. Oh no, duckies, it's almost time for bed, but not yet. I've got to fix the hole first.
As I sit with my goats behind me and my ducks calling out for their dinner, I think this isn't so bad, the constant fence fixing. At this point, honestly, I'm just inspired by these goats' determination.
I don't think any goat's getting through that anytime soon. They'll probably just find a new hole and push it through, but for now, that will do. I'm gonna let them eat for a bit longer because they're having such a good time and they haven't snuck into the garden yet. So we'll see how long that lasts.
I realise how, just like the other moments of joy and happiness I feel are transient, so are the moments of anger and frustration, knowing that each is fleeting as well as integral to the other. If my days were made up of only joy and play, no difficulties or frustrations, then what meaning would the joy hold? Thank you to our patrons for all of your support on our journey. We are so grateful.